Testimony oath of presenters. Please be advised anyone presenting before Commissioners Court is under oath before the Commissioners Court. Public comments. Do you have any public comments? No public comment. Yes, you have a public comment? Yes, sir.
Yeah, just to let you know on the court that one of my vehicles was broken into, so we called the sheriff department to make a report.
When was that?
And because
When was it broken into?
we saw it today, so it probably had to be during the weekend.
Any other public comments?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I just want to make the court aware of the Alanis field is still having issues for the restroom, for men and women restroom. So the company that I employed with part-time for the supply to quarter tons for the public situation. And on Friday we needed some water to clean the quarter tons. The source of water that we usually use was out of order. So I contacted our county attorney to ask if we could realize about 20 to 30 gallons. He said it would find us to put it to Commissioner Court for the approval of the donation of the quarter tons and to ratify the action as well. And in case anybody had any concerns or questions, it would be looking at Commissioner Court.
Any other public comments?
Judge, I got a call from Ms. Lina Cycle for the Dimmit County Wellness Coalition. They wanted to plant some seeds at the Lina Park, but I wasn't aware, I'm not sure, we have to read it to Commissioner's Court or we have a local agreement with them.
We do not need to bring it to Commissioners Court. We do have an agreement with the Dimmit Wellness Coalition that we assist them with the Texas A&M Extension Agent, which is Ms. Carissa Munoz. So you can get with her or just get with them directly. Yes, ma'am. Any other public comment? 1.6, approval of meeting, regular meeting, May the 6th, 2024.
Subject to the correction, so moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Noguera. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.1, approval of bonds.
No, Judge.
We have no bonds. 2.2, discussion and appropriate action regarding the approval to proceed with the development of a proposed community project, the First Responders Project. We do have a representative here, Mr. Villarreal, in regards to that. He was here the last time, did a presentation and discussing with our county attorney. Everything has been approved and in line. So at this time, it's just a formality to go ahead and give Mr. Villarreal the green light to go ahead and start building his services. He is the owner of that property. He did include the plan on here, the plot and whatnot. So at this time, I will respectfully request that this honorable court approve the development of the First Responders Project here in Dimmit County.
Motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Urenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion?
Judge, in building this first responders for the community, are we following, do they fall also under the Colonia's subdivision?
No, they do.
They don't?
They do not.
Because I remember the gentleman that came, last time they brought those properties. We had
Yes,
a problem
Mr.
with-
Martinez.
No, Mr. Charles Harrison. And we advised him to follow the Colonia subdivision due to the fact that we get grants. And I just want to see if we follow through that situation.
I did advise with Middle Rio Grande for the CDBG Colonia Fund grants. And this particular area of our precinct, or it's precinct 1 in the county, does not qualify. It's precinct 7 with Commissioner Noguera and precinct 3 with Commissioner Juan. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
I'm gonna abstain, I wasn't here for that.
Okay. I have one abstention, Commissioner Juan Carmona. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Villar, good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate your help.
Yes, sir. 2.3, discussion and appropriate action, approval to use the Bowman Field for summer football league for the months of June and July 2024. We do have a representative here for the football league.
Good afternoon, Judge. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
I came here to ask to be able to use the Bowman Field, trying to do a summer flag football league to keep the kids involved and physically fit throughout the summer. So I'm here for that, and I will be working with Bullpen Sports as well. They're the ones that ran the baseball league this year. They will be helping the league out. So the purpose for them to help out as well was to help them raise money for the July All-Star games that they'll be participating in. They are needing funds for that as well. So it'll be, not only will it be Dimmit County Youth Football Foundation, but it'll be Bullpen Sports as well. So any questions?
Mr. Briseño, I suppose, are you asking for the fee to be waived, or what exactly are you asking for? Because I know that we have a contract for anyone wanting to utilize the facilities, so I'm not too sure exactly.
Yeah, whichever help y'all guys can give us. I mean, if it's we have to pay for the, I mean, that would be very helpful, because right now, as we went from the last year's league to this year, funds are kind of limited. So we usually make our funds through the concession stand and entry fees and stuff like that. I'm not sure what will be allowed, but yes, if you can waive the fee, that would be very helpful.
Any questions?
Is this gonna be during the day, or you gonna have night usage?
So it's gonna carry through the night, so it'll be when kids get out. I mean, it'll be 5 o'clock till probably around 8:39. Not sure what days we'll be using. Monday through Friday, we're hoping like a Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. But more than likely, I'm not gonna say it won't carry over. More than likely, 1 or 2 games will probably be played at night.
Ms. Jasmine, what's the fee? If they turn on the lights, is it $50 or
$50.
$50?
Yeah, but the way that contract's written is not appropriate for this 501c3. If this is a youth organization, it says $50 a day for usage for adult leagues. So I know when I spoke to Mr. Briseño and I had spoken to Ms. Rangel, I had advised that we go with, I think it's like $150 or $50 deposit fee, and then I think it's a $50 deposit fee or something to that effect, and $150 to utilize the facilities. So I distinct understanding that there was a concern about the price being too low. So I think that's why we're here today, right? Or you wanted it to be waived completely. I'm not too sure exactly what
I really wasn't told. I was just told to show up for Commissioner's Court. So I'm looking. We need the reasonable that we could afford. I mean, we'll pay. As far as the light usage, I think it would benefit the kids. I mean, if we're not, it's still gonna be hot if we start a little earlier. So playing at night is still gonna be hot, but not as hot. So yeah, they carry on through the night. It would just benefit the athletes that are out there playing.
My only concern is, are you all gonna be playing on the home field?
Yes.
yes.
So how is it gonna affect them like we did?
What do you mean?
Part of the concession.
So the concession stand, there is no concession stand right now at the Bowman Field.
He said he wanted to sell, right, as a concession stand?
Yes, I hope we can use the concession stand. Yes.
They can utilize the concession stand. We don't have a concession stand in place yet for the Bowman Field. Is the concession stand available and working, Commissioner? There's not a schedule set for the concession stand at the Bowman Field, so we were going to allow the league to go ahead and run.
Just so we don't get in trouble with this other league, because we took over the concession stand. And if they run a concession, then it's gonna create a conflict. You know, so I just wanna make sure what we're gonna do.
I mean, we can get a concession stand there, that's not an issue, we'll put it together. And as he mentioned, so the bullpen league he's talking about, that's Michael Salgado, who's the person that's
Right.
running this league. And we've already advised with Michael Salgado, and he did not have an issue with them running the concession
But I
stand.
don't have an issue, just as long as they don't come back and say, well, we couldn't run it, so we had to charge at the gate.
So Commissioner Camara, I'm sorry to interrupt. So right now the plan is to have the league, Dimmit County Youth Football League, and bullpen sports throughout the 5 weeks that we do have.
That's not a
It's
problem
just,
anymore.
but we'll be taking turns, so they'll benefit, they'll get to use the concession stand as well.
Yeah, but there's not a problem with you using it whatsoever. My concern is, we
Please.
didn't let one league
I
use
understand.
it, but now, to me, don't matter, if the board approves it, but so be it. You know, that's the only concern I have, that they might come back and say, hey, you didn't let us use the concession stand, that's where we make our money, and then you're letting this other league use it.
We've never charged for the open field, for the concession stand.
No,
The
okay.
soccer league uses it,
Correct.
we don't charge.
Correct.
Yes.
It's never been to really charge.
Correct.
It's the first year that they put the Alanese concession stand. I understand that's where you guys make the money.
Yes.
My only question is the $50. I know you guys are nonprofit, but to turn the lights in case you all need to turn them on.
Well, I would suppose that they're gonna have to use the lights. I mean, it's extremely hot in the summer. I would hate for you guys,
So
I
that's,
mean, I'm not gonna tell you how to run your organization, but I would hate to have children out there at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon at the dead of summer. So I would suppose the most plausible thing to do is to have the football games 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening
Yes.
through whatever time, where it's not so hot, therefore the lights will need to be utilized. And the way that I read the contract, Commissioner Noguera, is that it doesn't apply to this particular league or this organization, because it says whoever wrote that contract before I was, it says adults leagues, and this is not an adult league, it's a youth league, so the $50 wouldn't apply. And moreover, I think that $50 per day is excessive. I mean, you're gonna be using it 4 days out of the week, so you're gonna be paying about $200 a week to use the facility. So I think, in my personal opinion, I think the purpose of us having these parks and recreational centers is for the use of the community, the use of the youth, and to put a burden to make them pay $200 for light every day is, to me, excessive, but that's my position.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Judge, in light of the fact that this is a 501c3 organization and it's for promotion of the youth to keep them active during the summer time, I make a motion that we keep it at $50 one-time fee. I'll pay for the $50 and allow them to utilize it.
Thank you.
We have one motion on the table for the Dimmit County Youth Football Foundation to use the facility for a rental deposit fee of $50. Is there a second? I have a second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona.
it's just the $50 and that's it, no deposit fee. no
$50 deposit fee.
But that's it, just for the light.
Yes, ma'am.
We waive the fee on the deposit.
I would strongly suggest that in the,
I was
you know,
gonna say not to charge
yeah.
because we didn't charge the league, the baseball.
So-
league,
so-
The Alanese part, we didn't charge them the deposit.
no, we did.
No,
Yes, we did.
I asked Jasmine, Jasmine told me the other day that.
We did. It was a $150 deposit. That's what we charged them. $150
The
deposit.
deposit, no charge.
Correct, correct,
So no charge, just the $50.
correct. Because if there's,
There's a light, there's a key for the light and the restrooms, Mr. Cruz
Cruz.
should be finished sometime soon, because we only had the girls, the boys or the girls was finished, the other one wasn't. But hopefully by next week it should be done, so they can use that.
yes, so what I had suggested, Commissioner, and we're still keep Commissioner Odenta's motion on the table, but what I had suggested, Commissioner Noguera, was that we charge them the $50 deposit fee, because we did charge a fee in case something is tampered with or broken, and then charge a $150 fee because we are not using the concession stand. The reason why we didn't charge the Brush Country League a fee to utilize Alanese was because Dimmit County was in charge of the concession stand, and the funds from the concession stand, of course, we deposit them with Mr. Ortiz, and then those get back put in the utilities to pay for the light and water for the Alanese field, so that exactly, because we're we're not putting the burden on the organization. We are doing the concession stand and using the revenue from the concession stand to pay for the light and water. And Commissioner Uranda and Commissioner Juan, can tell you that our last light and water bill for Alanis was astronomical. I mean, it was crazy ridiculous how much the city of Cruz was charging us for the water and light at the Alanis field. So what I had suggested to Mr. Angel was to charge Mr. Briseño and the league the $50 deposit and then $150 to use it, because they're gonna have to use they're gonna use the money for concessions. And obviously in this particular case, the county will eat the cost of the light because they're gonna be using the light.
You're gonna charge to get in?
So the plan was to charge to get in, but the only purpose of charging to get in is like the way the soccer does it, right? You charge per vehicle. The reason for that, if it's anything, is maybe $2, and it's just to keep people that don't need to be in there from having to go in there. So that was the plan. If not, it'll just be open to the public and we'll have a concession stand.
That dollar amount sounds reasonable to me. I don't know about the rest of you, because a lot of these parents have 2 or 3 kids that play,
Yes.
and they have to pay every time that they go, or they come out and they have to repay.
Yes,
So $2, $3 to me is expensive, but
yes,
I know that soccer league charges like $1 per vehicle.
yes. So it was gonna be the same thing. It's just to keep whoever doesn't need to be in there from going in there.
So your Commissioner, would allow your motion will stay as just $50 and no fee, or $50 and then $150 fee?
$50.
The motion is to charge $50 for the deposit fee. And I had a second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any other questions, excuse me? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Briseño.
Thank you.
2.4, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1, Ms. Sonia Guerrero Perez, for the month of April 2024.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners.
Good afternoon. Any questions for Judge Perez? If there are no questions, I will entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Uranda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Judge.
Judge, do we know where we're at with the Southern Software and the merging with Intent?
Yes, we're
But
already
that-
contacted, they're already, we're informed, they're proceeding with it.
Okay, because we're still entering citations.
I suppose that's what 2.18 is for, right?
That was the second one, because Southern Software has already started.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2, Mr. Alberto Esquivel, for the month of April 2024.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
I'd like to,
Yes, sir.
again, I'd like to thank Commissioner Carmona Alonso for the invitation for doing the mock. Getting involved the mock for the seniors last week. It was a very emotional. I saw 2 parents next to me that had tears in their eyes, and it was a good, very good. And we continue doing that.
Thank you for participating.
Thank you, sir.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Is there any other questions? I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day. 2.6, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 3, Ms. Leticia Hernandez for the month of April 2024. Good morning, Judge, or good afternoon, Judge. Judge, I have a question. I was looking at your revenue. Is there, like, the numbers have changed? I mean, you're not getting a lot of tickets, or?
It went up a little bit if you look at the last month's from last year or the previous year. It went up some. But
Well, maybe I'm reading the wrong one, I apologize.
It's decreased drastically,
Right?
almost half on revenue. So it's
previously,
like,
we only had 21 tickets.
Other questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it. 2.7, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 4, Mr. Alfredo Martinez for the month of April 2024.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, Commissioners.
Excuse me. Same question.
An increase in you had an increase
He-
in revenue on his tickets. That's what, there's 170 citations
170 citations.
versus 17 for his.
And that was my question in regards to them not giving enough tickets. Any other questions, comments to Mr. Judge Alfredo Martinez?
I know we can put a quota on the citations, but I noticed that real quick, the numbers versus what we all had. Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Noguera, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Judge.
Your
Have a
Honor.
good day. Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have leftover equipment that we don't need no more, and I'm putting them in the lobby. If, I don't know, Commissioner Revolta, have you seen that?
Yes.
I don't need it no more. Is there somebody that can take
Yes,
it out
if
and
you-
storage it?
If you can, please get with the auditor's office so that we can, he can advise you as to what we need to do with it for surplus.
I had told Ms. Carmona that she needed all the auditors and put in the surplus list. to
Correct.
get rid of it.
So we are going to have a surplus auction online for any equipment that we no longer utilize or is no longer needed. So if you want to have Ms. Carmona contact the auditor's office so that he can address that and advise her as to where that equipment needs to go or who needs to pick it up to add it to the surplus list, Judge. Please.
Sounds good. We'll do that.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Have a good day. 2.8, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from District Clerk Ms. Marisela Gonzalez for the month of April and March 2024.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioner.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gonzalez. Ms. Gonzalez, I have a question in regards to the district attorney's office on one of your reports for the total indictments filed this year for the fiscal year.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that a lot of the cases that are being filed are OLS cases. Are there any cases that are not OLS that are being filed by the district attorney's office, like in terms of like burglaries, like your regular felonies that are occurring in our town, not just OLS? I mean, that if you have an answer, maybe that's a better question to ask the district attorney.
Is there, I'm sorry, I do have 2 months that I submitted, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a particular month that we're looking at?
I'm just looking at this document right here,
Uh-huh.
and I see where it says total indictments filed this fiscal year, and it has 0, but on OLS, it has 64. I'm just curious if the district attorney is putting priority only on OLS and not necessarily our cases where we have victims in our community, because I would hate to have somebody in our community have their house burglarized and the district attorney's office is only focusing on human smuggling or bailouts. I mean, because I know that there is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Sheriff, but I know that there's regular cases as well where there's victims in this community, and it looks like there's a 0.
Past couple of months, their main focus has been the OLS cases.
Okay.
I am aware that we are having grand jury next Friday. My understanding is that they're supposed to be presenting 51 cases. I don't know, however, if the majority of those cases are OLS or if they are a combination of
Regular felonies.
regular felony cases. I couldn't tell you.
It's
at
okay.
this point.
I was just curious. Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Any other questions for Ms. Gonzalez?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Have a good day. 2.9, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from the county clerk, Mr. Mario Garcia, for the month of April 2024. The fine numbers went up, Mr. Garcia.
Yes, Judge.
Kudos to you
And staff.
and staff.
Everyone.
Mr. Gonzalez. Any questions for Mr. Garcia?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any further discussion?
Just want to add, Judge and Commissioners, in case you see a light on in the courthouse, happened in the evening. We started at 30 boys, the run up, and we're now under extended hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Good to know, Mr. Garcia. Any questions? Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Thank you.
2.10, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Dimmit County Assistant Fire Chief, Mr. David Torres, for the month of April 2024.
Good morning, good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon, Mr. Torres.
As you can see, for the month of April, we had a total of 4 calls with no burn ban citations issued. The only major call that we did have was going to be the 18-year rollover that we had on 186 and 3252, which involved a frac sand truck that ended up rolling over there at the curb at the intersection.
Any questions for Mr. Torres? There's no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Oh, never mind, I'm
may I
sorry.
approach, please, real
Give
quick?
me 1 second,
Yes.
Commissioner has a question.
For Mr. Pereira. Mr. Pereira, what's the status from the insurance or whoever you guys are calling for the phone?
On workers' comp, they, actually, I talked to him last Friday, and he had sent a,
Mr. Pereira, would you so kindly come before the court?
actually, I talked to him last Friday, and he has, I sent the email to you all today, this regular meeting. Because I talked to him, he said he already mailed it, and so I did, so drop him again.
Is it, so what's the end result? I didn't agree.
Well,
You can tell us out here in public.
basically, it's up to you all, but there are dangerous chemicals in some of this stuff, so it's up to you. It would be up to you.
My understanding is that they're not county employees, so why are we checking up on it?
Because they are under workers' comp.
I think if we say they're not county employees, we're gonna open a whole can of worms about.
That's what he said.
Technically, they're not county employees.
That's what he said, that they weren't county employees, so
But under work, they are covered under workers' comp.
what?
They are covered under workers' comp.
So they're a county
No, they're
employee.
not county employees.
So what's the difference?
Because we cover them under workers' comp as long as.
I understand that, but in order to be covered,
No, you don't. That's why we're covering them as volunteer fire department. They're not county employees. They're not considered county employees. Only, and so if
Well-
anything happens when they're at the fire, then that workers' comp will kick in. It doesn't kick in at any other time.
so who are you talking to now?
Our insurance people.
And
To the,
have they gotten back with you?
yes,
So what did he say?
that's what I sent you all this morning.
What did you see?
I sent it before the meeting.
Huh?
I sent it before the meeting because I forgot to do that.
Oh, what's the status?
He said that the insurance, as per the email, I had not received the email either, but he said the email says that the phone is dangerous, or whatever you just said,
Or materials.
or materials, but it's up to the court to decide whether we want to allow the phone.
I tried to print it up with my.
I think it's more dangerous when they go to a fire and something explodes and they don't have nothing to put it out with. I think that's more dangerous than they've been using this for 20 years or 30 years and God, we're blessed and nobody has gotten hurt. When have they,
This just came
when
up
have they
recently,
used
so
the workers' comp?
this just came up recently, so. If you want, we can have Ernesto come in and talk to you. From TAC.
I don't need nobody to come talk to us. The question is, can we get it or not? That's the question.
It would be up to you all.
Okay,
Well-
thank you.
May I approach? Judge?
Yes, you can, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, what yours, oh, I'm sorry.
What is your?
Gonzalez, yes. Commissioners and Judge, what you're seeing here is what we're actually having to do now to fight these vehicle fires. We're having to go up close and personal to administer the foam into this water so we'll be able to extinguish any type of fuel inside the vehicle or any hot spots that are still remaining inside there. So it's just, right now we're just using dishwashing soap. It's not as potent as the foam, but I would also like to inform the court and let the public know that we have recently reached out to the Dimmit Fire Department that we were in need of foam. Since we were using dishwashing soap to extinguish the fires, the fire chief from Dimmit Fire Department, A.J. Gonzalez, responded that he had 4 large totes of foam for us, in which he donated to the department at no cost. With that in mind, with the best interest of the taxpayers, we saved about $40,000. Which, with the appeal we submitted, was never approved due to the ongoing back and forth with the administration and with the county.
The administration, what do you mean the administration?
Well, the higher ups here, ma'am, with back and forth with
I'm the
the,
one that signs
with
the
the insurance
appeals.
and then with the.
I'm the one that
back and
signs
forth
appeals. I'm the one that signs appeals.
Yes.
So who's going back and forth?
With the whole insurance and then with the, trying to figure out if we were going to get it approved or not.
Well, no, the appeal's gonna get approved once Mr. Pereira, based on the advice of our county attorney, Mr. Gonzalez, had advised that we needed to get the approval from the insurance as to whether or not to get the phone.
Yes, ma'am.
So the reason why I have not approved the PO is because I was waiting on Mr. Pereira
Yes,
to
ma'am.
give me that approval,
I understand.
because that is what the county attorney had requested. So there is no back and forth. It's just waiting on Mr. Pereira to tell me that I can go ahead and approve that PO. And just so that you're aware of, if you can recall, here in Commissioner's Court, the Commissioner's Court approved for you to get the phone contingent on that answer from the insurance company in the amount of $8,000.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the only reason why I'm waiting. It's not because we're trying to go back and forth. So I just want to clarify that to you.
Yes.
I'm waiting on Mr. Pereira. I have no problem. I understand you need the phone. I'm just waiting for that.
Yes.
Because I refuse to get arrested or get in trouble because I'm signing a PO that I wasn't supposed to.
Understand.
Judge, Mayor,
Go ahead, sir.
and I think what Mr. Torres is referring to is the administration. We've been talking to you back and forth, and always something else, always something else. I consider that the administration.
And
Not so much as you being a chief executive officer, but with the administration we're referring to. Mr. Pereira, we asked him one thing, we're going on 3 months already, and the answer that I would get was, well, let me call him. And it gets kind of old going back and forth, and let me call the insurance, let me call workman's comp, and then what did you get? Oh, let me call him right now. But it seemed like every time I reminded him, oh, let me call him right now. That's what I
And I totally understand.
And it's not that so much we're putting blame on you but being on the administration side, being under you, other than you, we were going just back and forth. And we never got a direct answer until today.
Well, you know,
But we've been using this phone for 50 years, and I've been blessed that I have not gotten cancer, but because we know how to work it, utilize it, and plus we don't have that many fires like the bigger cities have, the refineries, the Air Force, the military. We have not fires now and then. It's not something that I use every single day.
well, I agree with you, Commissioner. Thank you for clarifying because I want to make it very, very clear and transparent that as to the reason why it has not been approved in my office, if there is no going back. Quite frankly, to be honest with you, I didn't know that you and Mr. Pereira and Mr. Torres have been going back and forth. I was totally unaware of that until today. And secondly, again, you guys have been using foam, as you said, for 50 years, just like y'all been digging graves for the past 50 years. And for whatever reason, now we can't dig graves. We can't close and open graves. We can't use foam. So, I mean, we have to just make sure that we are crossing our T's and dotting our I's. And I don't know what the issue is or what the problem is. All I can tell you is that that PO is in my office. I'm very, very aware that that PO is in my office. And I have advised Mr. Pereira that we need to take care of that PO. However, he's advised me that he's waiting on the insurance. I'm not Mr. Pereira, I can't do his job. But I just want to make it clear as to you, Mr. Torres, because I don't want you to feel some kind of resentment that my office is just sitting on a PO not wanting to sign it.
No.
I'm not signing that PO, and I'll be very frank and straight with you. I'm not going to sign it until Mr. Pereira gives me the clear light or green light, because I'm not going to get in trouble.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I'm referring to is, I'm not saying, let me rephrase that. The insurance is gonna pay for somebody that died because, they're gonna pay for somebody that got hurt, somebody that died because I don't know how to rephrase this or phrase it out, but because of lack of foam. Right now, if you see that picture, that close of that gas tank, putting soap in it, guess what happens? It flashes over. That fireman's gonna get burned. And if you put a dollar value over a human life, over insurance, then that tells me that something is not being
It
done.
wasn't, it was exactly that we didn't want anybody getting hurt because of the foam. And we had to contact two insurances, one for the liability on the foam, and the second
But
was for
again,
workers' comp.
this thing has been going on for years. We've been using it for years.
Doesn't mean that it's.
It never changes, it's the same thing.
Things change, and so that's what we have to go by.
Go ahead.
Mr. Torres, the picture shows the way you're replacing the foam with the detergent. How do you replace the foam from the top?
In the tank.
You're asking what we do to replace the foam that's in the tank?
How do you, if you're gonna do the same thing with the foam in the top?
We go ahead and we load that foam into our a 10 to 20 gallon foam tank that's already on site.
And you can do that with a detergent?
The detergent's it's a lot less consistency than it is with the liquid foam spray. So what we're gonna end up doing is, it's just gonna be coming out, and you're not gonna have a good consistency of when you're hitting it with just, through the tank. When it's going just into the tank, all it's gonna do is just mix it.
Really?
Yes.
Plus, they advise you not to mix any other like type of liquid other than foam.
Inside the tank due to, if it can damage the inside of the tank and then the plumb.
With the foam?
No, not with foam, just with, not to mix any other type of detergent inside the foam. Those things are only, how can we say, they're only,
So when you put the foam?
they're only built to withstand a certain type of.
So you don't have to clean it when you put the foam in the tank?
What was it again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Do you have to clean the system when you put the foam in?
We have to flush the system, yes, sir.
I just,
Yes, sir. Each use we flush the system, so it doesn't stay inside and damage more of the pump housing.
One question.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
that we have the report from the insurance, are we gonna have to come back and put it in the commissioner's court to get it approved? Or that will suffice?
If you'll have to decide, then we would have to come back.
Judge, if I may, I mean, just table the PO since we got a donation of foam. We got 1,200 gallons. And that way there won't be a concern about.
Mr. Kimura, to me, I understand we can get it donated, but that's not the oil field's job or anybody else's job to be donating to us when we have the funds to purchase it. I'm sorry, but there's no need for us to be asking other people for what we need in first funds for it. We just need to get this straightened out, get it clarified, either we're gonna pay for it or not, we're gonna buy it, if it's approved or not, come back to the commissioner's court, go back to the agenda, we need to go with this.
Okay.
Please take it
That's what I
back.
was gonna say, just put in the agenda, that for the future, it's already set, no questions, just get it.
Commissioner, just to let you know, there was a meeting that took place with Frank Mendoza, the one that you all said that didn't work.
Yes, sir.
Him and the safety guy and his supervisor stated that they would provide whatever foams the county would use. If they use 5 gallons, they would reimburse the county for 5 gallons. But they wouldn't buy the foam because of the liability is what they said. But it's totally up to the court, whatever vote from.
And speaking on the whole phone issue, just for your protection, if you will, please put a donation on the next Commissioner's Court agenda, because we would hate for your office or you to get in trouble because you accepted a donation without it being approved by Commissioner's Court.
Well, we got it way past the deadline.
No, I understand. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem, but for the purposes of,
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So just go ahead and you want that on the agenda for next week?
I mean, you don't have to, but I would hate
No, no,
for.
we do it.
Yeah, well, we can do that.
We'll put
Not a
that
problem.
stuff like that.
Other questions of Mr. Torres? There are no questions. I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Torres.
Judge, I'm sorry, did you want me to go and put also the one for to try to purchase it again, or is that gonna be just?
You can call my office. I can meet with you.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
2.11, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from the county commissioners for the month of April 2024. We will start with Commissioner Precinct 1, Jose Urenda.
Judge, we've been working on mowing right-of-ways along the county roads from here to Capitol Road and Franklin Road, and also blading Capitol Road.
Yes.
It's been utilized quite over.
Any questions of Commissioner Urenda's reports? Commissioner Precinct 2.
Judge, we're still working on Escondido Road. We've done more or less about a mile with that wrap material. So it's stuck to the ground, or to the road real good. So, as you can see, we have thrown 32 loads of rat material in there and it's holding on. The only one that we're having an issue is the one that we had contracted with, I don't know if I can mention the company.
Just say company.
The company to do Tokini Lane, but I took Mr. Gonzalez out there and showed him the defects that the road has. And I met with the supervisor of the company, and they stated that they were gonna try and fix it, but all they did was sweep the road, so I'm gonna ask for your recommendation on what we can do. We haven't paid them, but, I wonder if we go legal or try to do something with that road because it's not getting any better.
They're not repairing the,
No.
yes. If you can get with my office, Commissioner, that'd be great. If we need to take legal action, we will.
I think that's gonna be the next thing because there's some areas on the road that are bad, whatever they put on there, the chip and seal, that's not that great.
Just for the record, Diego Gonzalez, and County Attorney, I did go out with Commissioner Carmona. My recommendation to him was to get our engineer to point out any defects and get a list of all the defects, so that then we can, if we have to send a demand letter to the company, what needs to be repaired.
Any questions for Commissioner Alonso Carmona? We have monthly report for Commissioner Precinct 3 and 6, Mr. Juan Carmona.
Nothing new. We're just repairing the same roads, where we haven't paid. And, hopefully we'll get the material before I'm out of here, so there won't be any problems.
Any other questions of Commissioner Juan? We have Precinct 4, 5, and 7, Commissioner Rubalcaba.
Just,
Yes.
all of ours are good, except for, of course, Catarinas and Palo Blanco, they have most of the oil field companies asking for their, so we tried, using the limestone, gravity material, and asphalt. We already purchased asphalt for the past month, when we having issues, because they're sending it to TechStop or the trains.
Wow.
So we're in a waiting list. We need it for trees to build, but hopefully we can get it soon.
Any questions of Commissioner Rubalcaba?
I think it's better we wait for them to have it, because if we go to San Antonio, we're gonna spend a lot more diesel, man-hour, and everything else, and they still have the same. Just wait until they have some leftover.
If there are no other questions, I'm going to motion to approve the Commissioners Court monthly reports for the month of April 2024. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.12, discussion and appropriate action, approval to allow Carrizo Springs CISD to utilize the golf course for graduation ceremony.
Judge, this was a request submitted by the school district. There was one commission for asking if they could borrow some golf carts to transport the elderly from the gate at the stadium center to the seating area. I think it's a pretty good walk. If any of us have been out there, probably realize it's a pretty good walk from the parking area of the gate to the actual sitting area. So I would advise to put it to commission's court opinion on.
Go ahead.
Who's gonna be driving?
The school district.
The question is, are they allowed to drive this golf carts? I'm looking at you. Mr.
Well, I think it kind of boils down to the same thing with the
Well, the
volunteer
insurance-
firefighters, though,
insurance-
because they're not county employees, and they drive the fire trucks, I suppose.
Yes.
The golf course asks for a driver's license for anyone who uses or rents a golf cart at the golf course. I don't know who's going to be operating them, the question is there a public purpose? If the court should find that there's a public purpose, then you may do it. But there's also concern about the liability. You know, during the football seasons, they seem to have enough cars to park people back and forth to the stadiums all the time. I don't see what the difference would be here. So, if the courts find a public purpose, the need of the elderly to get to the seating, and you know, there are some people that are in wheelchairs, there's some people that are on walkers, there's some people that are on canes that could use the right that the school doesn't have the necessary gaiters or other equipment. So maybe to the court's discretion.
Commissioner.
My question was, the people driving it, if they're not county employees and they have an accident, who's liable?
But it was like, kind of, one of the liable, kind of person liable, not in question.
But in reality, man,
Go ahead.
I think reliable people walking the middle of the house, reliable too.
No, it's my question, it's not that I'm going against it, it's just a concern that I have.
They did specify that if any.
Commissioner, if you don't mind me asking, who in particular requested to use these?
Mr. Ray Gonzalez.
Is there any way that we can draft up a impromptu letter of waiver of liability, that if there is a liability issue, God forbid something happens, that the school will endure all the liability and that Dimmit County waives any kind of liability? Just an impromptu one-page kind of contract and have either the superintendent or somebody sign that?
In what capacity is Ray Gonzalez asking to use these?
In the capacity, Ray Gonzalez is a director of, what is he? Maintenance? Director
Does
of.
he have the permission of the school board to make this request? If he has not gone before the school board, then he's acting as though one commissioner unilaterally trying to, obtain services, and that's not enforceable. So if there's no school board meeting where he's been authorized to make this request, then no.
I'm going to motion that, I'm going to respectfully request the Commissioners Court, I'm going to motion that we authorize the Carrizo Springs School District to utilize the golf carts for purposes of graduation ceremony on the basis that it is a public purpose for the use of the public purpose for the elderly.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? Do you think, I know, but graduate, we'll take a quick recess. Give me a 5-minute recess so that I can call the person in charge of maintenance. Just for the record, Mr. Garcia, if you can please note, I did advise briefly right now with the maintenance director of the Carrizo Springs Independent School District, which is Mr. Marcos Mendez, who is in fact authorized to make a formal request. He did advise me that he is formally requesting, and he will immediately send me a letter to my office formally requesting the use of the golf carts for graduation ceremony. So with that being said, I am going to motion that this Commissioner's Court allow Carrizo Springs CISD to utilize the golf courts for graduation ceremony on the foundation that it is a public purpose, a use for the public purpose, in particular for the safety of the elderly, for the safety of anybody that's ADA affected. And just for the record, Mr. Garcia, there is a section in the government code that allows this Commissioner's Court to offer their services and equipment for the purposes of a public purpose, and that is, in this particular case, the safety and welfare of the community. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any further discussion? Yes, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor, in the documents he's gonna send you, can you have him please send you a copy of the minutes where he was authorized to do so?
I sure will. He's actually in a meeting right now, is what he advised. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, sir.
So there would be no cost, I mean, they wouldn't pay anything?
No, it's for a public purpose, as per the government code, and I can get you the exact section and statute if you like.
Mr. Pineda, if you
Are we
like,
still-
we can bring you a wheelchair so you can walk to the mic. Every time you speak, everybody else gets up and comes to the mic except you, so if you need assistance, please let us know. We'll provide a public service for you.
Or we can also bring him a golf cart.
Right.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.13, discussion and appropriate action to approve the interlocal agreement between Big Wells and the County of Dimmit.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
and we have always done this, but I'm gonna ask you to approve it subject to some changes. We're not gonna provide a playground.
I saw
And
that.
all of that, so I need to make some changes. I'm sorry I didn't look over it. We always have been using the same one for the last 12 years that I've been here, so.
So for the past 12 years, you've been...
The good thing they never told us to build it, because I would have had no money to build it. So
That's-
subject to that.
So I guess you guys weren't giving it to Mr. Gonzalez before so he could read
Yeah,
it.
he-
Right, Mr. Gonzalez?
We gave it to him when Judge Wilson was here.
No, he would not give it to me. I would not review the interlocal agreements.
I thought we, well, I mean,
I just, you know,
but we'll make the corrections and give it to you again.
there's gotta be some cooperation from the city as well. We can't just, you know, what is the city gonna do for us in exchange? In this case, as I discussed with you, you said that was incorrect, or that you want to assist in picking up brush and other materials. I have no problem with that so long as you change that section of the playground
Excuse me.
to brush and other trash within the city of the big. But, you know, if our truck should break down and so forth, also the contract, the local agreement doesn't say that they're gonna reimburse the county for those repairs.
Commissioner Carmona, if you'd be so kind, let's get together and we can meet with the mayor. I believe there's a new mayor in town, so we'd have to get the new signature of the new mayor and the new city council. And we'll look at the contract and see what needs to be revised and incorporate all the things that Mr. Gonzalez mentioned so that we can be in compliance with the request of our county attorney.
As far as this one, I know there's some need, you know, because my brother does 3 yards and big wells, and sometimes I go help him.
Motion to table by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any further discussion?
And for the record, we are, what's the word? Providing?
What are you trying to say?
That we're following the recommendation of the city of Carrizo Springs for not to pick up, we used to pick up everything, sofas and everything else.
I see what
So
you're
now
saying. You're
it's
just
only
trying,
trash.
you are trying to follow the request of the city of Carrizo.
But now we can, and they told us that if one of our trucks to bulk, what they call bulk, that they will charge us, so I don't wanna get caught out anymore in any arguments. We're just gonna pick up trash.
Any other discussion? I have a motion to table by Commissioner Noguera. I have a second by Commissioner Alonso. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.14, discussion and appropriate action, approval to accept updated and revised policies for the Dimmit County Sanitation Department. Did you guys get a copy of it?
Did you give us a copy of the old one that last updated?
Yes, that's the one I was looking for. Thank you, Ms. Miranda. Excuse me, sorry.
So we submitted this so we can revise our policies. We've had issues here recently, where people were throwing batteries, auto batteries into the dumpsters and fire extinguishers whenever they're compressing the trash. They actually have been close to hurting some of our employees. So we do have that on there, but it was just written as batteries, but we're trying to specify like so they aware, like, you know, auto batteries, the fire extinguishers were not included on the old policies. The other one was also the residential trash accounts. They've been using a lot of industrial drums and barrels. So whenever the guys go out there to try to empty them out, they're huge and they don't have anywhere to lift them from. So they're having to literally like hug them and carry them. And they're super heavy, full of trash already. So it just makes it hard for the guys to get those emptied out into the dumpster, the truck. So we're no longer going to allow, we're going to give them till July 15th, so we don't bill out till the end of June. So we're going to allow them the 15 days after they receive their bill to be able to start converting over to regular trash cans. Another one that's new, it's on there too, the furniture and large appliances. That one, we've had dumpsters where we go out there and they have box springs, they got all kinds of stuff into the dumpsters and.
Yes, Miranda, can I ask if you can perhaps include a line where you're going to give this to each customer, correct? So if you can get perhaps a line on there, add a line with the customer to print their name and sign so that they are in receipt of this and you have proof.
We do have one that was the acknowledgement of policies. I think this one's also approved back in 2019. This one, and it's this one. I don't have copies of it, but this is what they do sign when they come in.
Can I see it?
Yes. Them acknowledging the policies, and then also if they were to fail with the policies and trucks were to get damaged. I think we had a truck that got damaged a few years ago when the cables broke because it was heavy. The dumpsters were heavy with what they're throwing in their bricks and stuff like that.
I think just an abundance of caution for legal purposes, I would suggest that when you give them this one, also give them this one and either put a signature or put a initial so that you and they know that exactly, because you can give them this one and sign this and they can say, well, you never gave me this one. And you can't really justify that you gave it to them because there's nothing here. So I would strongly suggest perhaps like a maybe initial or some kind of signature included in this receipt of policies so that they're aware and they understand that if their services are being cut off, I think this is great, but I think that just an abundance of caution and to have an additional coverage for the county, that they also either sign this or initial it, that they also receive this and you give them a copy and you keep a copy for the records. That's my suggestion.
The word is correct, it's considered an addendum to the policy that they've already accepted, they need to sign off on it in order to be enforced.
Correct. So I know that you said that you guys, if we approve this today, they'll go into effect by July the 15th. So again, if you call all your customers, have them come in because they'll need to re-sign it and accept the new policies because they won't be in effect if you, correct.
One other
I got a question.
recommendation, Your Honor, excuse me, Commissioner, is that she may want to get with the code compliance officer because if disposing of these batteries and fire extinguishers are crime, inappropriate disposal of garbage, there may be a fine. And we can identify those people. They need to be aware of that possibility that they could face a crime.
You can get with Mr. James Gonzalez, he's the code enforcer for that particular, if you wanted to. Yes, sir.
I don't know if I missed it or not missed it on the, no dead dogs, no carcasses.
We didn't put that. We can also do
Okay, so what
I didn't see it, so maybe.
I'm gonna add that on here. And whenever we get the motion into place, we'll just put subject to the corrections as stated by the court and approve it, and then you can redo it. And once you redo it, submit it to my office and so that we can file it with the clerk's office. You still have some time since it's not gonna be till July.
We have had before.
So just if you could add an additional bullet point on there to reflect that no animal carcasses.
Yeah.
That's actually the formal word, I guess. no animal carcasses of any kind, because they can, I know some people throw deer in there and hogs and dogs and cats and fish, so no animal carcasses are allowed either. Commissioners, any other? We are not going to put humans in there, Commissioner Carmona. That would be murder, and then we'd have to have the sheriff's office come in and investigate.
Judge,
Yes, sir. I was gonna put it on the table for any commissioner that feels that there needs to be anything added, or if you have any questions. Yes, Commissioner Juan.
the question I have is, 2 30-gallon drums. You shouldn't put that on there, because that's what's hurting the.
Where's that at,
oil
Commissioner?
bag. Then it's gonna create another problem. All you gotta do is tell them, hey, put your regular, cans out there, the plastic ones.
That,
Huh?
yeah, that's what she's saying. That's,
The 30-gallon tank.
no, so Commissioner, what Ms. Miranda, excuse me, is saying is that they are putting drums. So the purpose of us
Right.
doing this is so that they're aware that they cannot use drums. It's just 30 gallons of plastic.
Right. the
Correct.
plastic ones.
Trash can.
Just regular plastic trash cans,
Right.
or the metal ones, but they have to be just trash cans, not correct.
Right.
And it's the one that he has is the old policy, so that's why we're
Yes,
modifying it. so
This
we
is,
can
this is
read
the
out.
old policy.
So that's why, it didn't reflect.
Well, you highlighted it, so.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's what the changes.
Okay.
Those, yes.
Now I'm on board.
And another thing that we did have issues that we, people tend to put their trash cans like in those, which we understand because of the animals and stuff, in little like, can holders. But some are building them a little too high, so we did, the guys said they're comfortable with a maximum of 3 feet high because they make them so high and they put the cans on top of that, so it's very hard for them to lift those off. We did include on here no burning trash by the dumpsters, because that wasn't included in the old policies, and we've had that issue in the past before. And then the other one was if customer pays after scheduled pickup date, trash will not be picked up until the next scheduled date unless they pay an additional fee. For residential, it would be $10, which was not included in the old policies. The containers is $25, which was included in the old policies. So we're gonna include the residential one as well. And then I think that is it. Those are the only new ones that are up to date. I mean, they were in there, it's just that they weren't, I didn't specify
They weren't,
them, yeah.
and they weren't being enforced.
Yeah.
Again, Commissioner Rubalcaba, I know that you're over the sanitation department, and Ms. Miranda, for the record, we do have a code enforcer now, and if we do agree to accept these sanitation policies, these are considered policies that are enforceable. So if you need Mr. Gonzalez to assist in any issues that you might have with anybody, please advise Mr. Gonzalez or advise my office, and I'll direct him to go to your area.
I think that's it. As far as modifications, those are the only ones we have.
Mr. Garcia, I am going to motion, anything else from the commissioners? Anything that needs to be retracted or added? Mr. Garcia, I am going to motion that the Commissioners Court approve the updated and revised Dimmit County Sanitation Department policies effectively, immediately, to add that no animals or animal carcasses be included as well in the policies, and that Ms. Miranda add an additional line item for a signature or initial in receipt of the policy. I will entertain a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Miranda.
Thank you.
Discussion and appropriate action. Item 2.15, approval of consideration for road and bridge employees and sanitation employees to start working from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the summer months. Commissioner Rubalcaba, I know that this was a request that you put in. Just for clarification purposes, summer months or the period in which you want this to be effective?
Summer months.
Okay, but like, you mean from like now to what?
If they want to start tomorrow.
Effective,
The
effective,
commissioners, if they want to start already, but starting tomorrow, the end of, July. Usually I think it's the second week of August.
We do it all.
So we can put the end of August.
The request on the table from Commissioner Rubalcaba is for the employee sanitation and road and bridge to begin work at 7 a.m. through 4 p.m. with a lunch hour to the discretion of each department head or commissioner for that particular precinct, and that this begin effectively May 21st, 2024, and to cease August the 30th, 2024. August 31st, 2024. That is the motion on the table. Is there anybody that's... Commissioner Rubalcaba motioned. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Urenda. Any further discussion?
Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
The landfill will be open 8 to 5, since they're outside and inside. The Metro, the gentlemen will be there 8 to 5, long minute setup, but they'll always be right there.
So just,
They're gonna take turns.
thank you for that,
They're
Commissioner.
inside the building, they have water.
So just for the record, Mr. Garcia, this particular policy is only in place for road and bridge employees and sanitation employees. Simply because there's alternative. Yes. Simply because there's alternate ways of coping with the weather advisory and the heat during the summer. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.16, discussion and appropriate action, approval for road and bridge for, excuse me. Approval for road and bridge to install internet or hotspot for the Metroplex.
Judge, we're gonna install cameras at the Metroplex, but we can't do it if there's no internet.
And I think also, do you need internet for, remember you asked for a computer
So
for the vehicles?
For the vehicles. But I spoke with Ms. Gagnon, the internet on a monthly basis is $157. The hotspot is $75
Yes, sir.
a month.
75?
75 for the hotspot, and the internet a month. So I don't know what the court. I'm sorry, I don't know what the court would like to do.
Commissioner, I would respectfully request that we could table it so that I could perhaps negotiate in trying to get a lower price. And also with the hotspot, when I spoke to Mr. Mendez the other day, because we got a hotspot for the Alanis Park, right, Mr. Mendez?
Yes.
And it was $375 for the hotspot.
Per month?
No, for the actual
The box.
hotspot, the box. It wasn't $75.
No, is it, that's the monthly fee.
No, yes,
That's
ma'am.
not the bills. Ms. Gagnon showed me the bills.
Well, we paid $375 for the actual hotspot.
Yeah,
I
for
think-
the one-time fee for the physical box.
See, it's a one-time fee, $375.
And then the monthly fee?
Yes, there's a monthly fee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I know, but you said $75 for the actual box.
No, $75 a month. That's not including the fee, the activation fee will be, I'm sure it's 300, but a month is $75.
Did I hear you wrong that you said 175?
No, 157, and we get regular internet.
Oh, okay. I totally misheard you.
And Carrizo Hill has DSL, they don't have Spectrum.
Yes.
They're trying to install on the other side fiber also.
So just to clarify,
The other side of 83?
Commissioner Rubalcaba, it's $75 a month for the hotspot, like the actual equipment,
Per month.
The-
Plus, of course, the.
plus the one-time fee,
I'm not sure.
plus the monthly fee, which is how much?
$75. And the internet is one.
That's what I'm saying, how much is the internet?
127.
$157.
I was going to tell you, I don't know, Mark, you aware of the rural broadband? They have satellite internet. and I have the camera on it, but their station is right there at the water tower. So it would probably be pretty strong for you there.
To run it from there?
Because that's why mine is pretty quick, because you're even closer than what I would. And I run the cameras and everything off of it, and it's pretty good. It's 50.
If there's different fees, there's different.
That's not bad.
And then all you do is install a satellite on the outside of the building, and then your Wi-Fi, or hard thing where.
Commissioner Noguera, please correct me if I'm wrong. It is $230. It comes out to about $235 a month, $232 a month for the internet there, like internet and the.
No, but we can get either or, that's what I'm asking. I don't know what the commissioner wants to do, either internet or the hotspot. I don't need both.
So $75 a month for the hotspot. That's going to provide you internet.
Or if we get the regular internet, which is Spectrum or AT&T, that's $157.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. No, thank you very much. I was having a moment.
So, that's how I say
Mr. Mendez, the hotspot would the hotspot be sufficient for them to be able to, like, is it big enough capacity for them to be able to run cameras, or do we need actual internet?
I would advise for the Spectrum to come down and install it.
Well,
Just so it's more stable.
Yeah, because I think the hotspot, it only is capable of so many gigabytes, correct, Mr. Mendez?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, like, let's say, for instance, that it's overused, you won't be able to see the camera. So I think if you had a solid, like, internet, what I would strongly suggest is what is it called, Rio Grande, or what is it? Rural broadband. I know that's used a lot, like, for the outer areas and the outer precincts. And I know that I know personally that they have they have like the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And I think that the lowest rate is $55 and the most expensive is $129 a month. Yes, if you want, I think that would be best. And I think they charge like $150 setup fee, but you'll have the modem there and it runs wireless and everything. And I think it might be cheaper, and it might, like Mr. Mendez says, be better for you for clearer picture in case that there's something that happens out there you needed to look at the cameras. Because with the hotspot, it's kind of in and out. We have the hotspot. We had the hotspot, and Ms. Hernandez can attest to this. We had the hotspot at the Alanis complex for the credit card machine. And towards the end, I don't know if it's because we were overusing the credit card machine. Like, we couldn't use the credit card machine for the last 2 games because the internet didn't want to work. It didn't want to work. So, I mean, if you want the hotspot, we can put the motion on the table, but I would, the rural broadband. So I am going to motion that we authorize and allow Commissioner Noguera to inquire into the rural broadband for the different rates. Do you want us to approve that today and to approve the rural broadband internet at a rate that is reasonable? And if you want to get with Mr. Mendez too, so he can advise you what the best level of internet is. That is my motion, Mr. Garcia. I'll entertain a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? We have 1 absentee, which is Commissioner Alonso Carmona. 2.17, discussion and redaction approval for road and bridge to purchase a storage building for the recreational center, precinct 4.
Judge, the storage room at the rec center, it's kind of small. We purchased new chairs, we're getting new tables. More comfortable chairs and tables, bigger tables. So we need a bigger place to store the tables. The chairs will stay inside, we use the wagons to roll them out, but the tables will be outside of the storage room. Where's this storage room? After the goals, Dirksen is the cheapest one. I know Lowe's, but Lowe's would have to assemble it and put it together and do some cutting on it.
On the storage shed for Dirksen, they will come and assemble it?
It's already assembled, it'll come and deliver it.
We Commissioner, is this out of CO or was it coming out of your general budget? Any other questions? Now entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Montalbano. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? We have one abstention. And for the record, Mr. Garcia, Commissioner Alonso has been excused by this court, so he will no longer be here for the remainder of the meeting. Discussion and appropriate action, approval to update the JP system for logging and accessing records. Mr. Pereira, that was your request?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pereira. Sheriff, you want to go ahead and
Yes,
get
ma'am.
me a golf cart so that we can have Mr. Pereira, or you know what, Mr. Jaime, you're here, you want to go get us a golf cart from the golf course so that we can have Mr. Pereira come to the mic out of respect for this honorable court? Any questions for Mr. Pereira? Again, have you heard earlier, Commissioners, we are trying to get that system rectified between the JP's logging system and the sheriff's logging system so that the sheriff's office doesn't have to come and manually give the tickets to the JPs. Instead, it'll be a formal thing where they can do it from wherever they are and it'll come into the JP system. This is something that we've been kind of going back and forth for some time now. I know that Judge Perez has inquired on it for 6+ months, and it's been extremely difficult to get through this system. However, Mr. Pereira has assured me that we are going to get it taken care of with the approval of the JP system that we're asking for today.
One of the reasons that we were delayed was we were trying to get it through the grant, but the grant came back and said that it was more of a generalized procedure, and so it would have to be paid from the general fund.
Is it free?
No, it's
No,
not. We have to pay for it. So I guess what he's asking is where
We
is,
submitted it at last meeting with both of them, so it was $33,000 for Southern Software and $18,000 with Intech.
I thought John was providing all of that with his contract.
Well, that's what it is, that's Intech, the
So
$18,000.
so he's gonna charge extra?
No, this is
no,
to-
we're not, I thought we were not going with Intech
We're
anymore.
right.
We're not
Okay,
going with,
We don't have the sheriff's office with Intech anymore. So that's what
exactly.
we're doing right here. We're opening up the records from Intech so that Southern Software can pull them into their records.
So it's costing us $54,000 now minimum.
In total?
Yeah.
Yes.
And how much are we paying John?
This is what we're paying him, $18,000.
How much?
18.
So he's gonna charge us $18,000 besides. So why don't you just get one company to do everything?
No, that's what we're doing. We're paying
We're gonna have
John.
the same problem that we had with the IT. They were doing it over there, and then they were doing it over here, and then they were doing it over there. So I wanna know,
Southern
are
Software,
there gonna be any problems?
Southern Software, when they did it, they did not convert the old files into their program. So now, we no longer have Intech. And so Intech is opening up their files so that Southern Software can go in there, pull them into our current system, which is Southern Software, for the sheriff's
Which
department.
they should have done in the first place, right? 'Cause
Correct.
We were
Yes.
paying for it.
Well, they didn't charge us for it. to do
Mr.
that.
Pereira, so what you're requesting today is for us to pay Intech to give it over to Southern
Correct.
Software?
Correct,
And then at that point, it's gonna be totally just Southern Software?
correct.
So we're no longer gonna be paying Intech for anything?
Right, and so we will be paying
So-
Southern Software for the sheriff's department, where we pay Southern Software. Because
So the 18,000 is to pay John?
Yes,
So Intech is gonna have nothing to do with it. We're not gonna pay anything in Intech anymore from anywhere. But that's what you're trying to say.
no, this is so the JPs,
I understand
No,
that.
the question he's asking you is, so you're saying we're still gonna pay John?
my understanding is with the JPs.
No. Mr. Pereira, the whole time that this thing was going on was that Solution Software was with the sheriff's office. Mr. Marion Boyd at the time had purchased that he got that through a grant, if I'm not mistaken, chief
Right,
or
this is
sheriff,
Right,
with the Sheriff's Coalition or something to that effect.
correct.
The Southern Software, this court approved for the sheriff's office to transition from Intech, because Intech was charging us a lot, to transfer over and transition to Southern Software, excuse me, because it was gonna be a lot more financially costly, if you will, not cost as much. So we did that. At that point, we were advised by the JPs that they are still not being allowed to get the tickets from the sheriff's office, so they have to manually input those tickets. So I was under the understanding that what we're doing now is paying John to transfer all the files from the sheriffs that needed to be transferred over for the JPs, so that Solution Software has that access to moving forward, take over completely.
With the sheriff's office and
The JPs.
and the JPs, correct.
That's not what you just said.
But that's what's happening. Right now, even the sheriff's office can't go into the old files.
That's correct.
Okay,
I understand that.
so that's what we're doing right here.
So his question to you is, we're paying John $18,000 so that the sheriff's office and the JPs can get all that backflow of information that didn't transfer. But also, in addition to that, JPs will now have access to Southern Software and no longer have to go with Intech. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because you didn't say that right now.
Okay, just go.
So we're no longer going to be paying Intech at all.
That's my understanding.
I may look dumb, but I ain't, I guarantee you that. Because every time we're having discussions, especially with the IT, we always have the same problem. Did you ever put it up for advertisement to get another company? And not have with Fox or whatever the heck it's called?
They're on the
Sheila
agenda.
Fox?
They're on the agenda. They're on the agenda. Yeah, they're on the agenda to approve. Y'all opened them at the last meeting.
No, there's only one.
For each one. Yes.
Are
Put
we
it
paying,
on
are we
there
paying
that
it
no
to
charges
right
for-
now? On the monthly basis?
Mr. Commissioner Carmona, I apologize, Commissioner Rubalcaba, but Commissioner Juan, Mr. Garcia wants you to put on the record that Southern, Intech will no longer charge us anything.
That's what they said.
I apologize.
Yes, sir.
I will not agree to it until I see it in writing. Because sometimes we say one thing and they come and say it's something else, so I need to see it in writing, black and white, before I agree to that. But are we paying into anything on a monthly basis?
Yes, ma'am.
Right now?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
We are for my office.
And for the JPs?
For my office, yes, we are paying. They're still part of what we do.
So they're gonna continue with you?
Yes.
Just not with JPs?
Correct.
So we will be paying them on a monthly basis?
Yes. Well, not monthly,
So
they charge,
then we can't say they're not gonna charge us anymore.
well, they're not gonna charge us for this. Last year, we had to set up the sheriff's office was having this problem.
Mr. Pereira, can we have a meeting with Southern Software or Intech so that I can understand what you're saying and we can better explain it to the court?
Sure.
Because I don't think that anyone on this court is understanding what's going on, and I think that's what's causing the frustration for Commissioner Juan, is because there is not, you're not catching what he's saying, right?
Because you say one thing is.
So there's software didn't, okay.
Look, let's just do this. Because Commissioner Juan is the department head for IT, I would like to have a meeting with Commissioner Juan, myself, you, and whoever the representatives are of Solution Software and/or Intech, so that we have a better understanding, so that we can make a presentation or represent whatever is at that meeting to the
When
board.
we did our part, I think it is.
I'll entertain a motion to table this item.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Juan, I got a second by Commissioner Odena, all in favor?
Aye.
We have one abstention, which is Commissioner Valerie. 2.19, discussion and appropriate action, approval for County Auditor Mr. Carlos Pereira to attend the Investment Academy June 6th through the 10th in Irving, Texas.
I think it's 10 to 12.
I have a motion by
It's actually the 9th through the 12th.
the 9th through the 12th.
I think I put it in wrong.
Just 3.5 days, how's it?
3.5 days, yes.
It's the 9th through the 12th.
Right.
Okay, yeah, on here you put 6th through the 10th through the 12th. 9th through the 12th. Let the record reflect, Mr. Garcia, that the voucher should reflect 6/9 through 6/12. Are the amounts correct, Mr. Pereira?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You already know what I'm going to say, Mr. Ortiz.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. All in favor? Or, excuse me, I need a motion. Motion by Commissioner Odena, sir. Oh, you? No, that was for the JP's log system. I'm talking about for the voucher.
No, I mean, right now, you motion, but then you went to discussion.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona, second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. We have the law enforcement 3.1, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 police package under the Operation Stone Garden FY23 grant number 3045009. Sheriff, is this on the buy board?
That's correct. We've been buying from a gun.
I have a motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba, and just for the record, so the purpose of, so the public can know in the community, this is coming out of a grant, correct, Sheriff?
That's
So
correct.
it'll be at no cost to our taxpayers. It's a cost that'll come from the grant. I have a motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.2, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase a Dodge Durango police package vehicle under the Operation Stone Garden fiscal year 23 grant number 3045009. Sheriff, do we have the paper for that one? Do you have the deal worksheet for the Durango?
Should be on there, same as.
Okay, I don't have it. Thank you, Sheriff. And Sheriff, is this also by board?
That is correct.
Okay.
And it's already Bernie, ready, delivered to Bernie.
Again, Mr. Garcia, for the record, for purposes of transparency for our community, this is not a item that is going to be purchased or affected to the taxpayer. That is through a grant. Do I have a motion? Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor? Any opposition? Yes, ma'am.
It's just one grant, right?
One
This
grant.
This is two.
Well, it should be the other one changed to the one that I got a different PO for them. Because I was gonna get those through the 2021 grant, but they said we had to use them for LPRs. So I requested 2 separate POs and 2 separate, it should be for the 45. I think
Yes,
they gave me the wrong one. Judge, you have the correct one, it's 45?
I have the correct one, and I can get you a copy, Commissioner Rubalcaba. It reflects $45,295, correct?
That's correct.
And that's for what? Yes, you need it? Okay. Yes, go ahead.
You give them to somebody that's responsible, right?
Oh, no, definitely, yes. Yes.
I seen some of your vehicles, they've been washed for about 2 months, I think.
We get Dimmit to wash them out, but right now, some of them have close to 200,000 miles. That's what I'm trying to get them.
And you got inmates, they can do it, right?
Oh, they will come out. They
Or
miss
just
days.
to the metro and the Globe, I see. Yeah, because that's some of the vehicles and some of the deputies are driving in no pride whatsoever what they have.
I just watched mine, but it rains, so it's,
No, I'm talking about, you ought to check it, see, it's under a really, I understand that they're on the county and all of that, and there's no payments, I know,
yes.
but it doesn't take that much to subtract to, or get the needs to us.
If you could just look at your fleet of cars and make sure that they're cleaned, so that they're driving around Dimmit County with pride.
I know your top people, they always got on the watch, so the inmates can,
No, I pull them out anytime, day or night, they pull inmates out.
But
Also, Judge, with the district attorney, we do have a lot of cases that this week, they only took 2, they didn't take the rest of them.
The reason why I was asking, Sheriff, is because I think it's important that our district attorney's office also remembers and doesn't forget that we have regular community members in our community.
Yes.
People like you, your family, Commissioner Rukawa's family, Commissioner Juan's family, Commissioner Udeda's family. And to me, it's a disservice when your entire focus is just on the human smuggling aspect of it. And I agree 100% that we have a problem here. I mean, you guys are out there putting your lives on the line every day, trying to prevent people from running through our streets. But I have had complaints in my office on numerous occasions from victims that their house got burglarized by either a local or somebody from out of town. I had the other day somebody coming to my office, and it was a lady that she wanted, because I was a judge and so she thought it was something that I could do, she made an outcry that there was a sexual assault that occurred. And, you know, we have victims in our county, and they need to be, you know, serviced as well. And we as a commissioner's court provide a budget to the district attorney's office, and that budget is for our taxpayers. And so if we need to sit down, myself and you, with Mr. Sedla, to advise him of the needs of our community, which entail home invasions or thefts or burglaries or whatever the case might be, you know, crimes against victims, we need to handle those too as well, because I hate that, you know, we provide so much of our budget to that office and they're just focusing on, I mean, you know, you work it, and so if we could set up a meeting perhaps with whoever the agencies need to be involved, because I would hate to it affect when it comes to the budget, because we're not getting the services we need. I mean, if you understand what I'm saying, you know what I mean?
And ours, what we're having problem is getting them to come look at the case and accept the case. Like, you know, on Friday they came and just took 2 and left the rest.
Well, you know, I'm glad that you brought that up, because this was something Commissioner Juan had brought up last year when we had budget workshop, that the understanding with the previous county judge in this court was that this court was going to give the district attorney's office more funds, more money, because they were under the understanding that they were going to have an investigator either housed at your office or housed here at the courthouse to be able to service you, because obviously, as you know, the main location for the district attorney's office is in Eagle Pass. And so I remember Commissioner Juan being real big about, you know, they want more money, but we need to have somebody here so they can assist you, right? And I think obviously what you're saying is that they're not. And so at the end of the day, the committee members are going to say, oh, well, the sheriff's office is not doing anything. They're the ones not doing anything. And in fact, you guys are. It's just that there's a process. The process is you get a phone call that somebody broke into somebody's house, you go and investigate it, then you kick the case over to the DA's office. It sits there and he decides whether they want to indict it or not, correct?
That's correct.
And once he does that, it's on them. It's no longer at your realm. But since it's not happening, it makes your office look bad, you know, because they're not taking the case. And so my concern is that I know for a fact I'm having people come to my office complaining, saying that no one's doing anything about their case.
I think that's what we need, set up a meeting so we can try to get some of going on it. Because the other way is they're taking those cases.
Correct. I mean, and you look at the numbers and you see them, they're astronomical. I mean, 67 cases indicted for just OLS. What about everybody else? Commissioner Ducal, you were gonna say something, I apologize.
That's what I was gonna say, that we, the funding, we had approved, when I was gonna ask, where is he stationed at?
He's not.
I've never seen him.
I mean, I think they even asked if I'd give them an office, and I told them we'd put them in an office, and then they were gonna take the courthouse, but we don't have anybody here.
I mean, if we can find a place where we can house them at the courthouse, if not at the sheriff's, but, I mean, you know the budget, I mean, we issue out a large sum of money to the district attorney's office,
Yes.
and we're not getting that service back into our community. And like I said, my biggest issue is our
We're paying for a
constituents.
service that we're not getting.
Correct, and my biggest issue is the constituents, because I would really hate for one of my loved ones, or one of your loved ones, or anybody in this room actually, to have a situation and nothing is being done. And you know how the court system works, there's a statute of limitations. If you don't indict a case within so much time, it lapses, and there's no justice ever for those people, because we're focusing, I'm not saying not to focus on OLS, because we get OLS and we have to meet numbers and we have to meet a quota, and I understand that. I just hate to see that our community members are not getting the service. And at the end of the day, our budget is taxpayer money.
That's correct.
And so I'm paying taxes, you're paying taxes, and that money goes to the DA's office and we're not getting anything in return. So that's my only concern. But if you'd be kind enough to set up a meeting and we can meet with him, I'll be more than happy to voice my concerns to him.
Sure.
Anything else? Commissioner Juan?
No, I was just gonna say thank you for responding this morning. I don't know if there's nothing we can do, but just wait and see if something comes up.
But they didn't take anything right from the vehicle?
No, they just broke the inches off and tried to get, I think they were trying, they were hoping the keys were in there, but they didn't have the keys in there.
Any other questions? No questions? 3.3, discussion and appropriate action, the sheriff's report. That should be included in your packages. No, sir.
Last month I left the, I think it was March and April reports with you. But we put it on this agenda though. I think you should have to have them.
I mean, because just looking at this alone, Sheriff, you have a total number of 310 offenses. I'm assuming as well you have misdemeanors on there too, but 310 and we have 0 indictments. I mean.
And out of the sexual assaults, the only thing we're waiting for is DNA back from the lab. But everything else, we have cases ready to go, just not taking.
Thank you, Sheriff. Any questions for the sheriff on the sheriff's report? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any mande?
On the same note, I did offer the sheriff that we would buy one of those, out precinct 3 would buy one of those deals where it shows your speed. Because we put the 20 mile an hour speed limit there, and I want them to see how fast they're going. That way they know whenever the church stops them or whoever stops them and give them a citation, they can say, well, I didn't know. But that way
I haven't
they're
seen your, you put a sign there? I haven't seen it. Is it there, Sheriff?
The 20 mile sign, yes.
And there's slow, children, and play. There's everything. All I gotta do is now put speed bumps. I don't think that deputies are gonna like that because they're gonna have to slow
So you're
down.
saying the deputies are speeding or the people are speeding?
Everybody.
Or both? Okay. Both.
I told the sheriff already.
Oh, you did
know.
tell him?
Yeah, that's why I didn't wanna bring it up. Yeah, he knows.
Usually we get called out, we're gonna go either way, speed bump or not. So we have a major accident right now in Catarina, so.
Sheriff, I guess if we could get together to find maybe a creative way to, I guess, make it more visible to the people that are driving there. I mean, I think ultimately if we put speed bumps, that might be the best way about it. Regardless, like you said, I understand that you have a concern that the deputies are speeding as well, but if it's a real accident, the deputies are gonna have to speed no matter what to get out of industrial. But for the layman's person that's just driving there to go, I think maybe perhaps speed bumps might be the best option
To
to,
where the parkings, right, that we have time to slow down and we come.
I'll put speed bump.
if we can get them maybe in the next agenda. Anything else for the sheriff? I have a motion by Commissioner Odena, I have a second by Commissioner Lucava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Sheriff. 4.1, status report from the Utility and Regulatory Department.
Ma'am, I don't have anything for this month, not until next month. Then I'll be doing some bores on Palo Alto, 4 bores.
What was that, Mr.?
4 bores, 2 inch, 2 inch, and 2 4-inch, and 2 8-inch.
Are they gonna let you know when they start?
Yeah, they're gonna let me,
Let me know, please.
this one.
No action taken. There's no action to be. Five point one, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from the county treasurer, Mr. Oscar Ortiz. Good afternoon, Mr. Ortiz.
Good afternoon. I believe you should have my reports for March and April in your packet. And the item should reflect that.
We have it, Mr. Ortiz.
Are there any questions of Mr. Ortiz?
Ortiz on his report. If there are no questions, I entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Further discussion? There is no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Ortiz.
Thank you.
5.2, discussion and appropriate action, financial report from County Auditor, Mr. Carlos Pereira, for the month of April 2024.
Yes, if you look at the first page, and I believe we had mentioned it before, that the current taxes through the end of April, and that's the first row, here to the actuals, we have collected $14,226,000 in taxes. We had budgeted $12,244,000. So we were $18,000 short of collecting,
No, we're over.
We're over. Actually, we are over. Look at it, sorry.
I spoke to Mrs. Sandoval as well. Congratulations, Mrs. Sandoval. I spoke to her the other day in the parking lot, and she advised me that she had just given the check to Mr. Ortiz and that we had surpassed our goal.
Well, actually, as of the April, we're still $18,000 short, but
Check.
that's, so after April, whatever comes in, we'll match way over.
Correct, I'll clarify. This is the April report.
Yeah.
So when I spoke to Ms. Sandoval, it was in May, so it'll come out in the May report. So just wanted to congratulate you, Ms. Sandoval, because we are surpassed the goal or the budget that we had anticipated for this fiscal year. So with that being said, our county is in great financial health, if you will. And thank you for your long hours, Ms. Sandoval, and also to you, Mr. Pereira, for your offices and your employees, because I know I leave sometimes at 6 and you guys are still here. So thank you for making our commissioners court look good and our county. So that nobody says that we are in debt. So, thank you.
Thank you. You have $123 million in reserves.
Okay. No, we don't have $123 in reserve. We have, $123 million. We have, some of that money is reserved, but a lot of that is on projects that we are holding. So it's not so much that is where our reserves are. Because you have the COs and you have other funds that we have.
But we're low.
Oh, we are very well off. Yeah. And in fact, right now, we are 10,306,000 revenues over expenditures as of the end of April for the general fund.
Any other questions for Mr. Pereira? If there's no questions, I entertain a motion. We have a question, Mr. Pereira.
Out of the cemetery,
Yes, sir.
can I buy a truck?
If it's budgeted, yes.
No, you cannot buy a truck. I mean,
If I
you,
budgeted for next year, I could get it?
Yes. If-
Well,
yeah.
I'll just leave the money there. Because then, 12, Mac, whoever it's been $30,000, I don't think that truck is worth that much money. I just need to get rid of it, or not the county needs to get rid of it and buy a new one because it's just getting up our budget.
any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Uranda, second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 5.3, discussion and appropriate action to award bids for internet service.
Okay. Yes, and I did get together with Mr. Mendez, and for the internet, you have your bid there in your package, and so he did recommend that we go with Call Tower, right? That's
Yes.
And it's a very good deal compared to what we have right now.
Was that Mr. Pettit? I couldn't hear you.
It's a very good deal.
For which one, Mr. Pettit? I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
It's a very good deal with what we have right now, compared to what we have right
Is
now.
it these two?
It's,
Yes.
So you're saying that these new EM3 networks and the flexile system is much better than what we currently have?
Yes. We're only talking about the internet.
Correct. I apologize. So the internet right now, Mr. Mendez, is the fiber internet service EM3 networks?
Yes, that would be the new one. So
And is that for the entire county?
yes, because I put the 8 locations and I put historic, the auditors, this new annex, the fire station, the golf course, the jail, and the JPs in Cheto and in Big Wells.
What about if we included Commissioner Lugava with the metro?
That would be something we can.
Would you entertain that, Commissioner Lugava, so we can, if we can get one price? And what about the Alanis Park?
That I didn't ask. They just asked me for 8 locations, so I filled in the 8 main ones, and then that's what I had done for them.
And this would no longer, we would no longer utilize Halifax, correct? With this, if we get, or Spectrum?
Yes, it would be purely with them. And it comes with the managed router all by them, so it's managed by them as well. It should say that at the bottom.
These were the two that put in the bids.
One of them is internet and one of them is phone
So
commission.
which one is the internet?
The internet is just this one. There was only one bid.
And then this will be for the next.
Yes,
one.
ma'am.
I was asking because we didn't have a number, I didn't know what it
Yes, no, this is for number 5.3, the one we're discussing, which is EM3 networks. Let me ask you, Mr. Mendez and/or Mr. Pereira, what are we currently paying right now for Halifax, please?
Okay, this is what we found, as far as.
This is perfect.
So, basically, it's 14,900, but it's also stuff that's included in here, so just by that, we were already cutting in half or less than half.
Okay, so the monthly for the current internet is 1,249?
Right, but so on a yearly basis.
No, I see that. So yearly, for yearly basis, and I'll pass this around to each commissioner. On the internet for the yearly, as you can see, it's $14,996.52 what we currently pay. And if you look at the contract in front of you with the EM3 networks, it's a 36-month, which is 3 years, which is $5,560 for 3 years, which is a difference $1,853.33 per year. It's $1,853.33 per year. So it's 14. So we're looking at saving $13,143.19 if this Commissioners Court approves. If this Commissioners Court approves to go and award the bid to EM3 Network.
Correct.
Is there any way that we could ask to see what the price would be if we add the Metro, or do you think it'd be cheaper if Commissioner Rukawa just goes with the rural broadband?
I can also ask them as well.
We can add it onto it, add whatever locations we need to add later on.
Okay,
I'm sure it won't be anywhere near
right? Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mendez and Mr. Pereira. I think we're saving $13,143.19 a year for our taxpayers. So, thank you so much, Mr. Mendez, for going out and trying to get that price and getting the numbers, because that's a lot of money that we're saving. We're good for something, saving money to the taxpayers.
Does this include the arena, the DPS building, the arena?
Yes, this includes the arena and the jail, especially because the way the jail is laid out, it kind of spreads it to the other buildings through the access points, so it's covering those buildings as well.
I just wanted to make sure, because that's on the jail side.
The only thing, Mr. Mendez, that I will inquire is, Commissioner, the only thing that I want to inquire, as Commissioner Rukawa noticed as well, if we put it here at this annex courthouse, does it cover the DPS office, or does DPS need to have their own, because they are part of our...
They would need to have their own as
Okay,
well.
so can we include the DPS office on here, since they're part of our facilities? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Urenda. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Judge, are you gonna include those other items that you mentioned
Yes. On the record, Mr. Garcia, if you can please include the motion to reflect that Mr. Mendez be authorized to include Metroplex and the DPS station and the rodeo arena, that they are not included? Thank you. And,
Since we got the Ashton building, the JP in my office, can we add the rec center? I have internet at the rec center.
I say we have every department that has it, because to me, it seems like we're saving more money than we're obviously paying now. We're paying $14,000 now, we're gonna pay close to $6,000 for 3 years. Commissioner Nobukawa, because Mr. Pereira is the one that is requesting this item. You do not have a conflict of interest. I know that Mr. Mendez is your son, but I will advise you from a legal standpoint that you can vote. You can vote because Mr. Mendez is not the one putting in the request. It's a bid that was coming in through the auditor's office. So you can vote it, Commissioner, you can vote. So I have a motion by Commissioner Urenda and I have a motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you very much. 5.4, discussion and appropriate action to award bids for the telephone services.
May I approach?
Yes, sir, you can. Okay, I'm gonna recess. Service.
We're going to ask if we could table that one, because we still have some issues that we need to clarify with the current bid.
I have a motion to table.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 5.5, discussion and appropriate action, budget adjustment number 53 within precinct 2 department. Motion by Commissioner Nobukawa and a second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. All in favor? Motion carries. 5.6 is a budget adjustment within the courthouse grounds. I'm going to ask for a motion to table just because I had some questions for it, but Commissioner Alonso is not here for the questions I have. Motion to table by Commissioner Urenda, I'm sorry, and second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Claim docket 5.7. I have the general fund $1,537,544.96. The Dimmit County Clerk $3,260.08. Excuse me, Dimmit County Clerk is $3,260.08. Dimmit County District Clerk $3,614.73. Dimmit County Airport, $3,075.36. Dimmit County Golf Course, $18,289.97. Courthouse Security, $2,342.18. Records Management County Clerk, $1,196. Utilities, $72,607.79. Rodeo Arena, $985. Stone Garden, $216,242.12. Operation Lone Star Program 2022, $26,348.38. Dimmit County Payroll, $472,456.25. Tax Note Series 2023, $224,000. COs 2019, $14,800, and COs 2020, $7,590, for a grand total of $2,605,252.82. Mr. Pereira, that's the new fee for for jury duty now, $136 to be on the panel.
I'm assuming.
Is that what-
That's a couple of,
Because I know all those people weren't in jury duty.
that's, but that's a couple of days. It's not just one. Which one are you looking at?
I understand that, but I'm saying there's a difference between a panel that they're paneling and then there's an actual jury that sits on a jury. So I'm asking you, is $136, is that like the new fee or?
We'll have to check that out.
Okay.
Like Harry, bonus was on the jury.
Any other questions? If there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to recess and adjourn. Motion by Commissioner Noguera, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Urenda, all in favor?
Aye.
The regular Commissioners Court meeting has ended, Mr. Garcia, and I will now call to order the Public Facilities meeting, and the time is 3:19.
Roll call, Mr. Garcia, let the record reflect.
That we have one absentee, which is Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All other parties are still present. 1.3, approval of minutes of regular meeting May 6, 2024.
Subject to any corrections on
Subject to any corrections by Commissioner Valerie Rubalcaba. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.1, any new business, discussion appropriate action, any new business?
Just the same thing, we're trying to fix, all the lighting over there, there's still element about getting their lights fixed for safety reasons. And I was gonna ask Mr. Pereira, where do I put the report for the Middle Rio? Since it's coming out of the,
Public facilities.
so that's where I give my report?
Correct, because it's paid out of
Because,
public
We
facilities.
spent some money for the lights at the public, from the
At the
public
Middle Rio.
facility to Middle Rio. And also, we're gonna replace the ceiling tile, because they're all, I don't want them to start growing mildew, and then we're gonna be liable for that, so that's what we're starting to do out of the public facilities.
Are there any questions of Commissioner Juan Carmona?
motion to approve.
Motion to approve his report by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.1, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report for the financial.
It should be,
I don't have that here.
it's not.
No, that's the docket. That's the claim docket, his financial report. Is it in the back? Oh, I got it, never mind. My apologies. My apologies, I have it. Are there any questions? There are no questions, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Claim docket 3.2, public safety, $6,989.97. Are there any questions on the claim docket? If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Urenda, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? I'll entertain a motion to recess and adjourn the public facilities meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, got a second by Commissioner Urenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Mr. Garcia, the time is 3:23 and this meeting has ended. Thank you.